Connected vehicles present many opportunities to help consumers, including the generation of driving behavior and vehicle data that can be used in new insurance solutions. These new solutions can provide more personalized insurance, priced on how a consumer drives and how much they drive, which can help lower premiums, helping to lower cost of vehicle ownership. But to take advantage of these new insurance solutions, consumers need to have a way to share their driving behavior data with their insurer. Under GDPR, driving behavior data is considered personal data that requires the consumer to actively opt in to the sharing and use of that data. But today, the ability for a consumer to share their data for use in insurance pricing can be extremely complex. In fact, a consumer sometimes needs to take multiple steps that can involve multiple organizations. This is why LexisNexis Risk Solutions teamed up with Volkswagen and the members of the Smash Hit Consortium to create a better experience for consumers to keep track of how and with who they are sharing their data. Given the use of data for a particular consumer use case often involves multiple parties to be engaged, with Smash Hit, a consumer only needs to opt in to sharing their data at one interaction point related to that use case, and not as they interact with each of the parties involved in connecting that consumer's data for their benefit. Smash Hit shares that one-time consent with all relevant parties, thereby enabling a service to initiate for the consumer while leaving the consumer in complete control of consent and data sharing. The following demo will give you insight into how the consumer can opt in to sharing their driving data, manage that opt-in, and how that data flows through the supporting platforms. We start with a simulation of the registration process for a new insurance customer opting into an insurer's UBI program through a mobile application. Once the user has registered and provided the appropriate UBI consents, this information is communicated by the insurer to LexisNexis Risk Solutions, where it is stored in the consent management platform, which you see on the right side of this screen. Information is then sent to the Smash Hit system, where the consent is verified, and a unique certification token is returned to the appropriate parties. In this usage-based insurance use case, the OEM trip recording consent is sent to Volkswagen, indicating trip data for this vehicle may be collected and shared for the purpose of insurance pricing. We now shift to the trip log viewer in the LexisNexis Risk Solutions data platform. You can see trip data flowing from the Volkswagen Car Neo platform to LexisNexis Risk Solutions, where it is processed and could be used by an insurer. And for the consumer, after registering, they can now log in to the Smash Hit platform as a data owner to view and manage consents they have granted. Clicking the View icon, the consumer can view specific details of the consents they have granted. They can also modify consents previously granted. This consumer has decided to revoke consent for trip recording. To update, the consumer selects Modify Consents, scrolls to the consent they wish to revoke, and selects Revoke Consent. Returning to LexisNexis Risk Solutions, you see the consent update has been pushed to the consent management platform, which now correctly displays the trip recording consent in an opt-out status. And we see the response from Volkswagen's Car Neo platform advising that consent has been revoked and no further trip data will be shared with LexisNexis Risk Solutions. The Smash Hit platform brings a more streamlined experience for consumers to share their driving behavior data through a single-click consent experience for consumer participation, a single-click consent withdrawal process that stops data flow, and a consumer can grant and withdraw consent anywhere, on a website, a mobile app, from the car through the infotainment system, or through a phone call. allowing the consumer more transparency and control of data sharing. Volkswagen has developed an in-car app that allows the driver the possibility to do the same, allowing them to view consents or revoke them from within the infotainment system.